All right, excited to be playing again pretty quick on Friday night against BYU. Obviously, a great opponent. Kalani Sitake's a good friend and a great coach, and you can already tell they're much improved from a year ago. Really explosive on offense, can run it and throw it. Quarterback's playing great, and defensively they're big up front. They got a really good pass rusher off the edge, and I think their linebackers are much improved from a year ago. So excited being Ford Stadium Friday night ESPN and get a chance to try to get our third win.
What stood out to you when you reviewed the film, and how did you feel the team came back in the first one?
Yeah, I thought we played pretty well. You know, we did what we were supposed to do. I think offensively we had 42 knockdowns, ran for 300 and almost 70 yards, so that was good to control the game that way. I think defensively, 3 turnovers are big. We got off the field a lot on third down, stopped the run. So we did the things we needed to do. Cut the penalties in half. Still could be better there. So we responded well, and we started fast. I think, 28 points in the first quarter. So that was good. Obviously, the challenges just only increase starting this week.
Does the short week make any difference?
I mean, it's one less day, but BYU does the same thing. So, early in the year, hopefully you're physically in a little bit better shape. So it's a quick turnaround. We'll do what we can to be smart in the next 72 hours to be as fresh as we can. But I think at the end of the day, both teams got to play in the same amount of game prep time and physicality, resting time. So I think we'll be all right.
When you approach the rest of the season, first time in decades that SMU has played 10 straight power conference.
Yeah.
How do you kind of balance the excitement with that, the understanding that the competition will raise, but also focusing on the team itself?
Yeah, I mean, 10 straight power games it's what we asked for. It's what we wanted. I think there's been a lot of buzz around our program, which is great. And there's a lot of overzealous people out there prognosticating what we're supposed to do. I mean, there's no pressure on us. We're not supposed to win these games, right? I mean, if you look at history, the 4 teams that went into the Big 12 last year, none of them had a winning record in their first year. Now we haven't had that many bites yet, but I don't think, and y'all can fact check me, I don't think we won a home game against a Power 4 opponent since 2010. So now we've probably only had 10 games at home we haven't played one even every year at home. So we just need to relax and go play. I think we got a good team. We're not there yet. I mean, just into week 3, we're still in that early season process where you're trying to figure out your identity and who you're going to be on both sides of the ball. We have faced adversity already early on in the season, and we responded well. But, some of these things out there are kind of baffling. To me, we're the underdog every week. Doesn't matter what the line says. It doesn't matter. We're not supposed to come in and beat everybody. Now, on the flip side, our guys are confident, and I think they know that we can compete at this level. I think they feel good that we belong, so we have to go out and show that. But there's no pressure on us. Only the pressure we put on ourselves.
Have you had a chance to watch some of the other ACC games that have happened so far, and have you learned anything watching what's happened at Florida State?
Yeah, if you watch college football the first week and a half, I say week and a half because we were part of the week 0 group, there's a lot of parity. It's hard to win. You look across the SEC, the Big 10, the ACC, the Big 12, a lot of non-conference games that were really tight. You look in our conference, you see, I think Georgia Tech and Boston College are really good football teams. I already know what kind of talent Florida State has, so I have a feeling they'll rebound. But, it's hard to win. Nevada goes and beats Troy. And so you got, in most cases, 17, 18 to 23, 24-year-old kids going to school, now with NIL and all these things. It's just a lot. And I think that's why you have the inconsistency maybe week to week. And so, yeah, honestly, it doesn't really surprise me. And I think that sometimes a lot can get made of it week to week. That happened last week, so you assume it's going to happen this week, and then you get the total opposite. And so it's just too early in the season to really know. Every week you got to be ready to play, and you got to play well to have a chance to win, or you're probably not going to, no matter who you're playing.
So go ahead.
Is there anything you've learned about the team over these past 2 weeks now that you guys have gotten
Yeah, it's a good question. I think we're still, even though we got a veteran group, we did bring in new pieces, and usually somewhere in that second, third, fourth game, you settle into the identity of your team. So we're still kind of figuring that out. I think I have learned so far that we'll respond. I think we responded well in game at Nevada when things weren't great at all. We found a way to dig deep and respond to the situation. I think we responded last week by coming out and starting fast and playing well and addressing some of the things that were an issue the week before. So that part is encouraging because you're not going to play great all the time. Your offense is going to go through tough streaks. Your defense is going to struggle at times, teams, and it's the teams that can just kind of go to the next play, go to the next drive, go to the next game, so to speak, and respond that are going to do well. So I've learned that, and then there's probably a lot of other things we'll still keep learning.
Any injury share?
I think Moochie should be available this week. He was just having back spasms last week, so we held him. I think Rooster should be available this week. LJ, we're kind of taking him day to day. I think he'll be good to go. I'm trying to think. I think we're in pretty good shape with just everybody that played last week and the few that maybe we held should be available. I don't think any changes.
What do you think of Andrew Chambly's debut?
Yeah.
How's he feeling?
I think he's feeling good. He was a little sore the next day, but it was good to get him in there and get in some action. In some areas, knocked the rust off a little. He had a couple busts early, and then I think he settled in and played well. He moved well. Like, he didn't move like a guy who had a knee injury at the beginning of fall camp. So that part was encouraging.
Where's the quarterback situation stand? Is the
Yeah.
rotation or
Yeah.
still on?
Preston's our starter. He earned that job. He is the starter. And he's going to start and he's going to play a lot. I still think you'll see Kevin. The last game was the way it went was loud. We kind of played back and forth a little more than we probably normally would, but it was good to get both those guys a lot of drives and even Keldrick in there. But nothing's changed. Preston's our starter, and I think they're both playing at a really good level. They're both valuing the football. They're both putting the ball in the end zone when they're out there a lot. So we'll continue to go as is, and I think BYU should be ready for both of them.
Similar to you guys, BYU has also split time with their quarterbacks, and even though they may have taken the oar off of their depth chart at quarterback, are you guys still preparing to see multiple quarterbacks?
I think you always got to expect to. Now they really went with one guy in the first game for the most part. So I think they're confident in their quarterback. I think he had 4 starts a year ago. Played really well in the first game. Like 20 or 30 for a lot of yards, a lot of explosive passes. They present a lot of problems because they're big up front. They got a good downhill running back so they can run the football right at you and just sustain and control the game. But they like to take their shots, their play action stuff off of it. They've got 2 really good receivers. They got really good tight ends. So they're a problem offensively, and I think you saw that as the game went on. They really opened up in the second half. Again, it was their first game, so sometimes offenses, it takes them a little bit to get their footing, and then they were really efficient. So, but yeah, the Bohannon kid, we're familiar with him. He's from Arkansas. He spent time at Baylor and somewhere else, I can't remember. So, he's a talented dude who can throw it and run it. So I wouldn't be shocked to see anything.
As you've seen Kevin's in-game sample
Yeah.
size grow, are you learning anything else about him, what his tendencies are, and then how he's grown?
Yeah, you learn, guys, both as the play caller and just as the coach. And like I said, I think I got asked the other night, I think the one thing he's done, the ball security was a little out there the other night, but he didn't fumble it. He's valued the football really well in the 2 games he's played, and we've moved the football when he's in there. So I think what we've learned is, different as last year when he was making his first career start, a lot more unknowns. I think we have a pretty good idea what we're going to get with Kevin. Like he acts like a veteran guy who's played and should, and I think he's got a lot of confidence.
How big has the addition of Tank Booker been, and he's made huge plays?
Yeah.
for the first 2 games?
Yeah, I think, it's been big internally because D tackle is going to be an area. You look at games in our league, people are running the ball a lot more in the ACC. You got to be able to stop the run, and if you can stop the run and limit explosive plays, that's the formula on defense. It doesn't matter your scheme. And if you can't stop the run, they control the ball, you don't ever have the ball, and then you got to sell out at times, and they're going to get explosive. So having a guy like Tank in the middle to kind of anchor the unit there, I think a guy like Jared Harrison-Hunt has played really good. I think Mike Lockhart, Corey Roberson, Jonathan Jefferson, I think all those guys have done a really nice job. Sometimes they don't get all the Tank scored, so that's why we're talking about Tank. But other than that, maybe the sack numbers aren't there, maybe the tackles aren't there, but the push they make, the other night on the strip sack, it was because Jared Harrison Hunt put the guy in the quarterback's lap, allowed Jafari to get the sack, and Tank was there. But there's no question having a guy that is nicknamed Tank on the inside is a positive.
What did you make of Derek McFall's debut? Obviously played in that game, but just getting those touches and being close.
It was good to see him. I mean, that's kind of what we thought we were getting. I mean, he played slot receiver part-time his senior year at Tyler. So, I mean, he can catch the ball, which he didn't really show the other night, but you see his burst, you see his explosion. It was good to get him some game action because you just never know at running back as the season goes on who you're going to need and when you're going to need him. So I wouldn't close the book on him this year at all. At the same time, I think you saw a flash of his talent, and then once he's had a year in a college weight program, I think you'll see his physique and all that kind of change and catch up to where he could carry a load as a running back. And so it was good to see.
You've got a guy with versatility like that. Is it nice to have someone like Rashard Smith, who's also done a lot of different things?
Yeah. No, that's what we'd love to have. I mean, if you look at our guys, they complement each other well. I mean, you got Rashard, who's a running back that also has receiver abilities out of the backfield. Same thing with McFall. But then, I mean, Jalen Knighton catches the ball well. LJ catches the ball well. He's more of your downhill guy. But, the more versatile those guys are, the bigger problem they are for a defense. No different than someone like R.J. Maryland is a matchup problem at tight end. So, yeah, we definitely like those guys, and it's good that, several of them can do the same kind of type of things.
What do you see from BYU's defense? What challenges do they present?
They make you earn everything. New defensive coordinator from when we played them 2 years ago. If you look, they played well early last year. They had a rough patch. Schedule was tough. They had Oklahoma and Oklahoma State beat the last two games last year and lost them late. But they were up big, especially in the Oklahoma State game. And what I saw the other night is they don't give up explosive plays. They're big up front. So their size is a problem because it's hard to move in the run game. I think they've got good juice off the edge to rush the passer, though, so we'll be tested at tackle when we do throw the football. And I think their linebackers are much improved. They just look faster. They look a little more sudden than who they were playing with last year. And then, like I said, their structure on the back end is similar to us in that the way they play their single high stuff and have the ability to play too high as well. I don't want to call it bend but don't break. They don't give you a lot of explosive stuff. They keep it in front. They make you earn it. They don't beat themselves. They don't turn people loose, which as an offense causes you to execute extremely at a high level and be balanced. Otherwise, you're going to struggle.
Football and grew up working in the coal mines. Football wasn't even on the table for him for a while. What's it like to have a guy who just maybe didn't go through the conventional path of what most of the guys on your team have done? How does that add to the locker room?
Yeah, it's cool. And obviously Australian guys are different. They've had a lot of success. We've had a lot of success with them at punters. So I think his position helps that backstory allow him to play. But he's got a great attitude. He doesn't take himself too seriously. He's always in a good mood. He's grateful to be here. He's a great team member, and I think that's what allows him to do a good job back there. And he had a great fall camp, so I expect him to hopefully not get too much action, but have a really good fall.
Coach Sataki, you mentioned that you'll have a strong relationship. I think you mentioned there. How long have you known each other?
Yep. We didn't know each other much other than knowing of each other. Until my first year here, I went to they have a coaches classic in Pebble Beach around Memorial Day, and he was there. It was my first time going, obviously, and we got to hang out and spend some time there. He's a super nice guy, and then we ended up playing him in the bowl game the first year, and we spent a ton of time at the bowl, just at activities and whatnot. And there's not a better just human being, coach, ambassador for our game in college football than Kalani. There's no ego. I mean, he wants to win and compete for his team, but he does it with class, character. His teams always represent them that way. So I have the utmost respect for him. And then because of that bowl game experience, where I guess, we went for two and didn't get it, so he got to get this necklace for his wife that I didn't get to get for mine. So because of that experience, we've just stayed in touch, and then, of course, we go back to Pebble each year and get to spend some time there. And so, like I said, just consider him one of the really good guys in our business. He does it the right way. There's no question his team takes on his personality. They're tough. They're physical. They don't beat themselves. They can run the football. They can play good defense, but they do it the right way. And so, like I said, I hate that we have to coach against them again twice in 3 years. But when we're not coaching against each other, I like them a lot.